Right, so I got this the Miele on. I put it to. I was gonna attach a hot and cold, and then realised I don't need a hot and cold because the hot's not switched on; it's switched off. But then put it on cut 95, and it started leaking out the hot. So now I'll put it in a Hoover. For every time it fills up, it should leak into the Hoover, not on my floor. Didn't realise pre-rinse is active, although I'm pretty sure I switched it off, so I don't know why it's on. But anyway, we'll leave pre-rinse going. I think it's basically a 5-minute rinse, quick spin, and then it does the main wash. Did confuse me a bit because it started filling up and just carried on filling, but obviously it goes to a high-ish water level. Cool. Right. But this is a new for 25 quid. It's broken. It's got an error code coming through apparently halfway through the wash. What error code is it? Now, if I turn the drum by hand, it does sound fine, but it does also sound like it's rubbing on something. So, let's see. Oh, there we go, we're going into the service cycle. So we're going to press it once, two, was it these ones? That's your test mode. 1, 2, 3, 4. Test spin. So it spins fine. That's drying. So duvets is wash. It didn't do anything. It is reading 19 degrees when I will hand wash, so it's 19 degrees. E11. Isn't that a fill problem? Right, so reset to 0. E11, let me just search that up. I'm sure that's a filling problem, so it might be a valve. Yeah, so E11 is just a general filling code. Now, obviously, I know I went through and there's no water valve attached, but I only went through for a few seconds. It takes a couple of minutes for the code to register with the pressure hose. That also being said, it could be pressure hose problem. It's the only other cause. Oh, by the way, smelly vision time. This stinks. This, I'm guessing it's been ran with at 30 or 40 degrees with cheap detergent forever, because the door seal is absolutely disgusting on this. And trust me when I say this, I've got another Miele, a modern Miele, a modern version, brand new. It's basically brand new. It's a year old possibly. Of the commercial, it's a PWM 507. Now, it's under wraps over there, and it will come out to be tested later on. I've got to set that up as well. But it looks like we're working. So this is completely disconnected here. So there's two relays, two heater relays, 1, 2, and there's 2 heaters. What I've done is unplug the heater from the machine. I've also unplugged it from that relay. So it doesn't matter now. It should only be working. It's only working off that one relay. I know we're working only on one heater, so therefore we only need 13 amp. We're running absolutely fine at the minute. How cool's that? So we're now back down to a 13 amp machine. It is running at 2600 watts, I think, rather than the 1900 watts, which is in my other Miele. What I'm going to do, once this and the other one's been all worked and fixed and working, we're running all on 13 amp, I will dig out the other Miele and dig out the other Miele. I've got the commercial range that Miele's all done. So we'll have a wash race with all that as well. So things like my WS 5400, my other PW6055, this 6055 Plus, and the PWM 507 EL will be set up. We'll do a wash race of the commercial Little Giants by Miele. I love Little Giant machines, actually. They are obviously just bigger. They are bigger cabinet versions of the domestic, and trust me when I say this, the PWM 5700, PWM 507 has a 7 kilo drum, but it's the same drum that's fitted in that with an altered back on. If anything, it's probably possibly a bit bigger than 9 kilo, so they should both take double duvets with no problem. Obviously, you got the PW 55. This is a 5.5. The other one's a 5.5 as well, so they're both 5.5 kilo, not 6.5 kilo, unfortunately. But hey ho. But this is the earlier one. These are over 10 years old. Obviously, the other one's a more modern 5-year-old one. So the program is completely different. And I mean different. Also, the motor's different. You'll listen carefully to this motor. And it's a little bit more noisier than the other motor. But something more interesting is that the layout of the machine, like this, even the tub is exactly the same on the brand new machine as it is here. It's still made exactly the same. This layout's exactly the same. Yeah, pretty much. It's even a printed board still. And even like all the additions are all the same. But the way everything's set up at the back's different. Because you can now adjust things without actually ever taking the lid off on the new machine. For some bizarre reason. We're definitely heating. We're definitely away at that. Ooh, that's really hot already. I think we've been running for about... That's up 60 already. And we've probably only been running for about... maybe 15 minutes on the main wash. That's 15 minutes including filling with water. So, yeah. It's quick. It's still quick even now. And that's with Water Plus as well, so there's more water than it needs. Because that's Water Plus with the heightened water level adjuster on. But I haven't actually raised the actual wash level. This is definitely heated. It actually heats about 16, about, like I said, about 15 minutes. That is extremely hot to touch. It's been hitting away for the last 7, so it's been hovering around the 80-ish mark for about that time. But with 46 minutes still remaining, it's still suggesting there's about 15 minutes or so left for washing. Right, let's actually test it this time. We'll put it on service mode. So that's pre-wash. Still pre-wash. Are you not supposed to change over? Huh? Pre-wash. Still pre-wash. You can hear clicks. Alright, let's see if the heat works. So we'll put it on heat. That's 20. We'll like fill, say, set to 30, and then we will fill with more water, and then we'll drain it. Give that 5 minutes or so. Meal is on cooldown. Right, so we're up to 35, so it is working. The heater's working, shall I say. So if I advance it, well, I get it to 1400 this time. Slightly overreached there. find a valve for this. Right. Placement valve fitted from another Zanussi. Hey! Yeah, have I done it right? Have I plugged it in the right way? Pre-wash. Great thing is you can actually see it. So look, main softener, both, and then the fourth one is stain, but it doesn't have it, so it doesn't actually do anything. It's stain / bleach or whatever. It's basically got a fourth. It's also jet if you have a jet. Then we got. Oh, that was jet. Delicates. Then heat. Mustn't be high enough for its liking, I think, at least, because there we go. But we know that the heater works. We know the motor works. We know it drains. We know it does everything. This is brilliant. Right. Reset the error code. I tried to do something, but it won't let me actually unlock the door. Oh, there we go. See how many times it took then? Right, we're going to load up, we're going to put... I think what we'll do, we'll put... a couple of towels in. No, we're going to put we'll put citric acid in with some towels first to knock off any deposits, and then we'll run it with towels to completely clean it. It's not in too bad of a condition, but it needs definitely cleaning. Oh, and yeah, the Miele's now got towels in with some Daz. Been through citric acid. Now that drum is absolutely disgusting. This is the third boil wash now. It has a the load sensor is switched on. If you have it on normal mode, it doesn't seem to want to cancel any time on 95 at least. But on 95 with intensive, it does drop off about 10-15 minutes. Right, there's something that you may not have realised. Anyone that's watched videos of this, the high heat does work, but is taking a long time. The low heat works, but taking just forever, like it's really severely reducing the temperature. That is broken off the wire from this sensor here. So, more than likely, it's actually cutting the temperature down, and I actually think it's got sensor dry within it. That sensor dry, so when it takes no moisture at all, completely zero, it doesn't turn off the heat, it just simply halves it. Or reduces it in some way. That also means that we've only got two heaters. So I don't know how low heat it manages to reduce it. And I was actually kind of wrong. I actually thought this was a dryer from the Hot Point 95s. But it's not. In fact, the actual tub is very similar to a 95 actually in build, if you look at it, but just in the build. Because at the end of the day, the drum's different in it. Right. Still need to fit a inlet. That's the old one. You can blow through it, so you know it's broken. See, that's broken. We have found a new one. But it's off a Beko and it's got the wrong... It will work because it's got the right pins and it's the right body and everything. But it's not got this bracket on. There's a need to turn itself off there. I thought I was lighting it up. I meant to load it up, didn't I? But actually we've got a 9.5 box full of bits as well, so we'll have a look for the hot water valve out of that. Now I've scrapped 2 WD washer dryers down as well. They will fit as well, but unfortunately I've used both of them at some point. One was on the... I did actually. One was used on the WD-62 and one was used on the WD-23, so yeah. That explains a lot. Right. Let's take a look at this then. We're going to see if it actually works. But before we start, messing around with it. Anyway, I'll just show you what I've done. So, just like the other Miele that's also in this video, this is a PWM 507 ELDP. Because EL, I can't remember what EL is, but DP is drain pump. It is a drain pump model. Great. Not a dump valve. Anyway. Now, unlike, say, the other Miele, this is what I get every single time. So, unlike the other Miele, this NTC wire is not piggied off the other one. This camera needs replacing. It needs fixing by Sony because it's not even 2 years old and it's already broken. It's still in warranty. Stop vibrating! Anyway, there is no box there. That's been taken out. Now, like on the other one, I've also unplugged it all, but not taken the box out. This box just unclips out, so it's great. I've also unplugged it at the wire down there. Now, what happens is, every time I now turn it on, you will always get this message. Fault XCI box, but you don't get a fault code. Now, it doesn't stop it from working, which is fine. So that means I can continue using it. So let's see if it works on the one heater that's still plugged in. It should work. Oh my god, this machine stinks. Really, really, really bad. It's all dried along the side. But it looks like, happily, there might be spots of mould, but it's not too mouldy at the minute. So we'll try and clean it out, then we'll stick it on a boil wash and see what happens. Ew. Oh, also you can't configure it for the heater for some reason. Ugh. We've added all the extra programs that weren't added before, so now it's got all the additional programs you can naturally find. It doesn't look to, there's only about 1 or 2 extra ones since the previous gen. All that else is dried. Door seal's loose, of course. I've not put the band on simply because I need to test it and make sure for ew, ew, ew. Right, now, unlike, say, the other one, if you want to configure it, all you got to do is go into that, go into supervisor level, access via the code, and then you can change it all. Right, so what we're going to do for this, so it's cool, let's make sure it's on. Yeah, it's on, that's great. I'm going to go to main wash, water level. There we go. And I'm going to up it to 30. So, because the trouble is, if you select water plus on this, rinse plus, it doesn't come on for every program. So we can have it say for like Express, for example, which will up the water level and add an extra rinse. But if we say we go to mirror and iron, it allows you pre-wash, pre-ironing. It doesn't allow you extra rinse. It doesn't allow you water plus for some reason. Same with if you go, for example, let's see if Delicates does it. Pre-wash, extra ironing. If we go to cottons, for example, we can only have pre-wash and that's it, which is annoying. So anyway, we'll put it on. It's preset to 1. It's 1 hour 11, which means it's a few minutes quicker than the other washer. It's been set up exactly the same as the other washer. Max bin though is 1600 RPM now on these, which is nice. Right, gonna put some DAS in. The drawer is really small for what it is. Hang on. Yep, it's small. It's smaller than the... Hang on, let me just show you. Right, this is the drawer for this, and it's tiny. Because look, you can see the outer cut down there for like the drawer from the domestic washer. Here's the domestic one. Look how big it is. This, I need a new camera. The diverse is much quieter on this than it is on the previous generation. And it actually goes round, believe it or not. So it's taken a while because it goes roundwards rather than backwards and forwards. So it fills through the diverter first. Which is supposed to go straight in the drum. It doesn't have one. It's supposed to, but it doesn't have one. This one goes straight into the... Right, okay. What's a weird setup? Then we're filling up through pre-wash. I'm going to turn it again, and we should be filling through the main wash. That's quite a high water level, actually. that going. We'll see what happens. Right, so we're mere 10 minutes in and two things have happened. Number one, that display goes off after 10 minutes. And two, it's already at about 50 degrees through that drum. It's heating perfectly fine. We've got a perfectly working washer with 2600 watts. We'll go with that. Right, got a Haier Atrium. So first, Haier have actually bought this. I don't know if I've bought, but I've also seen that's not working. Apparently it's blown its second heater. The first one was placed under warranty. The second one blew shortly after. I don't think it's on its third one maybe. And it's blown that as well. Because it said the second one was a copied one. Anyway. Keeps blowing a heater. Now that could mean that it's a poor design. Maybe there's earthing issues, stuff. Not earthing. You know, electricity siphoning to it too much, too frequently, too often, too much, whatever. Right. Maybe that. I don't think it is. I think it's just constantly blowing the heater. It has come up from a hard water area. It could be use of poor detergents. The door seal has this weird effect on it. It's got that same... It's drying out. Look. The drum and bearings are absolutely fine on this. It does power on. It even starts as well. Right, what I'm going to do is take the back off. Oddly enough, even though the drum is new, the back of it still looks like an old Whirlpool. More onto that another point in time. I think this door trim can actually come off as well. The door does look a bit split. Does look splittable from. It's got cover. Look like it's got covers over the screws. Anyway, quick test of the heater, and indeed it's gone to open circuit. Therefore it's blown. We'll get a new heater. I'll take a quick look at this and I'll put it on a quick rinse and spin. It's a Whirlpool AWG 765 semi-integrated washing machine that we picked up. It should be fully working, so we're going to put it on A. Is that right? Needle's on its final spin. Look how much salt is left. The rinses are lower than the wash. Despite me, because I've upped the wash level, but the rinse level doesn't go up with it. Unless there's a separate setting. I hope there is, because it needs raising. Otherwise I'm going to have to add like 2 more rinses on top of it. Not too sure about the motor. So let's spin at 850. What's that? Like 100. Well, that's 120 because I know that's distribution. That is a proper resistor on there. I'm wondering whether the brush is maybe a little bit sticky, because this has come straight out of the kitchen. It looks like the house is being done up, so I reckon put a new kitchen in. So I reckon this has maybe been stuck for a while. Possible. Right, I'll stick it on the boil wash and go from there. We'll set the spin speed to like 4. 4 is basically 500. That's why you got a 500 spin speed button on the other whirlpool. I'm just going to put a little bit of DAS in. Other than that, it's perfectly clean inside. You've got no build-up of mould. It certainly doesn't look like it anyway. Oh, I meant to go open the door then. So we'll just run a wash. I'm going to put a small amount of DAS in. Not that, oh, I picked that up, but it's not actually like There we go, small amount, because we don't really need that much. Just to freshen it out. It smells fresh as well, it doesn't smell like it's been used with liquid. So I reckon, old person, and then the house has been sold, and then the new people that bought it are putting a brand new kitchen in it. So, there we go. We'll say it's a 75, we don't need actually 95, so we'll say it's a 4 on the spin as well. We'll go from there. It advanced from, oops. It advanced from its static heating and there must be pressure inside. That pressurised. It just all the suds just shot through the door. What am I after? It is happily. Is happily cleaning. I have noticed there's a crack on the main door. I think I've proven my point. It's leaked down there as well, which means it's all over around the pump roughly. I might have just missed it. Right, that is at 70, so I'm going to advance it to like a rinse. There? No, missed one. Cools down, but it seems to cool down and then just drain, so God knows. Right, let's work off the mini cam this time. So we've got, I bought these. This is a Hoover H wash 300 plus. It's actually a hair underneath. This is the first of the hairs. 8 kilo, 1400 spin. It's a product return because I'll just show you. Click, click-ish, click in, no click, no click. And no click. They got really cheap buttons, and it looks like it's come away from the panel from behind it. But other than that, it seems to be all intact. I'm going to put this one in a minute. This Hoover H Wash Lite, which I don't really get because it actually is a 10 kilo and has more options than the Hoover Hair base one. But this is a proper Hoover, of course. It looks like it's still got all its stuff. Manual thingies, there's a couple of blocks there, but there's no transit bolts in, so it has been used. I can't really tell. This door seal is pretty much like it's not been used at all. It's still all slimy. Or if it has, it's only been used once maybe. But it's very smashed up. very smashed. Got a bit of a dent there. That will go in. I'll put that on to test in a minute. This one will wait because you just can't turn it on at all because of that button. I think there is power going to it though, so we'll see. And then we'll put this in a minute as well. Now it's a Hoover H-Wash 500 wash and dry. That's not even attached to the drawer, it's completely snapped off. It's quite cracked around here, stuff like that. It has been used though, and it has been used like a fair bit. There is fluff around the door seal. There is a build-up of like the fat from the fabric softener inside the softener compartment. So we'll have to get this in to actually see what's wrong with this. Right, we'll sort it out then. We'll put these. I'm gonna put these two in and see what happens. Ah, so the switch is on. It starts okay. Cotton's 90 is 2 hours 48 with a full load, which is laughable at, because how are you supposed to heat up that much water in an hour? We're going to leave it plugged in, we're going to let it, there's no detergent in there whatsoever, it doesn't need any detergent because it's brand new. We're going to 90 wash, see if it heats. I don't also put that lightly because of course we know these hit about 65 at best. Anyway, once we've done and we're happy and stuff like that, we will run some of these programs, like Eco 4060, maybe the Sports Wash program. Mix is your synthetics, not mixed. Right, a couple of things. This is heating up fine. Right, now we've got this Hoover H-Wash 500 washer dryer in. It turns on absolutely fine. But I'm wondering whether, look, this is how much, this was all just come out the drum just. I'm wondering whether it's been returned because it wouldn't drain. So before I even start, I'm going to take that filter out. Right, okay, so it looks like it fills. I feel a pre-wash. I think it is, so it doesn't feel quite as much. Yeah, it goes slightly. There we go. Yeah. Anyway, put a bit of Daz in just to clean it out. Put it on a 60-minute dry cycle, so if we do get to the drying stage. But I'm going to be honest. I've just turned that on. The pump is fine and rotating fine. All this has just come out fine, but it sounded like it tried to drain first and there was no... the drain pump didn't kick in. So it might be a drain pump issue. But like actually the physical drain pump. It sent a click to it, but there was nothing. Normally a good sign. If it clicks, it means it's not the board, it's usually... it could be the wire, it could be the plug in back of the... pump. No, I've not tightened this up by those things. Not tightened it enough. We've got a tiny dribble on it, but okay. Should be fine anyway for us. Put it on a 90 wash. I've also put it on the longest setting, which is still only 2 hours 48. So this looks like it's been like maybe a 28-day return. but actually has physically broken, I think. I think really has broken, unfortunately. I like how this is so transparent that you don't realise that's there, that heat shield's there. Miele done quite well as well, like you can't tell that heat shield's there too much. Let's take a quick look at this then. It's a Bosch WTA 3100. Hold it. Pick it up. Vented dryer. So you had two Bosches that you could buy back in the day. You could have this or the WTA 2000, which would have been the White Knight made version. This is a proper Bosch one. We open the door. We've got must be a venter kit as well. You know, the condensing kit. Oh yeah, actually gets used. Fairly cleanish. There's a bit of build up down at the bottom. It looks a bit odd. Just needs a clean out. Filter's pretty much fine. I love this dial because you can't turn it backwards, you can only turn it forwards. Up to 140 minutes. Even though you'd only ever need what looks to be about 110, even with low heat. It has like 5 minutes of cooldown while it's thing. It looks like 10's fine, and only 5 minutes of cooldown. So everything's gonna come out quite hot. It was up for sale for that long that it became that cheap that by the time I saw it, I bought it. Don't think it's been ran for recently though, so. So personally, might need the odds. It looks like it may need an old lubing up here and there. Might be that might also be the fan. It might be the motor. I think it's the fan actually, to be honest. Straight away, the heater is working perfectly fine actually. Yeah, nice and hot already. I'm gonna let that run for a little bit to make sure the dial works as well. The on and off light does work. It's just that it's dimmed over time that much that it's basically blackened inside itself. That's still heating. It's got an hour 30. Bear in mind, 60 minutes of that hour 30 is drying. But it is up to temperature. Right. So this actually works. So why has it been returned then? I can't tell why. Weird. Oh well, right. I guess I'll fix the top then, and try and get hold of a drawer. Other than that, well, he's fully working. Right. Bizarre. Be nice to. I think it'd be alright once it's fully working. It seems to dry pretty fine actually. And it also seems to have drying. It has wool drying as well, which is odd. Let's take a look at this and see if this works. It's a bush. It's a Vestal made bush tumble dryer. Right, couple. It looks. It was chucked out for scrap, so let's have a look. Now this filter is obscenely full. It's obscenely full. Well, turning it on, the boards come on straight away. So, it is these can suffer with a border shoot. So, I was just not turning it on. So it looks like we're okay there. All the buttons seem to react, and they react a lot more positively than the washer versions. So this bush will match the bush washers that I've also got. Actually, it's newer than them, actually. It's got the newer design. This is barely a handful of years old, at best. I've been after, actually, a Vestal one. So if we can get this working, I would be quite intrigued to have a look. It's got two quick programs. It's got a shirts 12 minutes and an express 29 minutes. But of course, shirts will be more of a relaxing program, whereas Express 29 will be a sensor dry program to dry sort of like, I don't know, 1.5 2 kilos. Gotta be honest, I've already worked on one of these Vestals before, and they're kind of, well, they're better built than a Hoover, so it's got that going for him. So what I'm going to do is run 30 minutes. Let's see if it heats. No, it came to me with mix dry set. Could be that they're using the sensor drying and it's just sort of stopped sensor drying because, oh, I don't know, maybe you didn't enter the filter. And it's heating absolutely fine as well. That's the daft thing. And the condenser's pretty clear look. Well, this is working absolutely fine. And look how clean it is as well. Maybe a sensor program, sensor problem. Now a sensor problem, if it's dry, if it's stopping too early, that could be the sensor. If it's not, if it just carries on forever and ever and ever, there is a timeout period, so it won't go on forever and ever and ever and ever. But there's a timeout. If it times out, then it's a sensor problem. Right, we're going to leave that running while we take out the hoover washer dryer, get another machine in. Right, let's try out this American sized Bosch. The front cover here is broken off. It's not missing, I've still got it. It was both broken off as well. But she says it doesn't actually affect, you know, the door or anything, which is good, because obviously I want it off anyway, because all the light does is just reflect off it and you can't see inside properly. So with it off, filming is much easier. Now, this is supposedly fully working, so we're going to put a dash of Daz in and then see what he does. Alright, so currently we've got it on current 90, rinse plus, and it'll finish at 7:50 PM tonight. It is actually currently 4:14 PM that it's correctly done. I put a bit of Daz in, I'm going to go into menu. You can change it to either quick wash, which will save a bit of time, or intensive wash, which will add on a bit of time. It even tells you where it's up to. This will be quite interesting to film. Alright, so what I'm going to do is obviously let it fill up with water, let it do its thing. I'll put all this on rinse plus and intensive wash. Hopefully one of those will up the amount of water. Now what I am interested in finding out is whether it has a load sensor. And it does, auto load adjustment in action. Still at 808 at the minute, so in about 10 minutes time we'll probably find out where it's up to. Probably not 10 because Bosches are quite quick. Now just to get the dryer going. I've got to, I think I know what might be causing the dryer not to work. It looks like the tumbling pattern is pretty much the same as the washers. The washers, of course. The standard washers. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, and if you work out the time, that's currently 3 hours 50. It's quite a lengthy cycle in 90 wash, but that's also a rinse plus. Standard is about 3 hours. Quick wash knocks off 15 minutes. Intensive wash adds on 15 minutes. So there we go. Now we're looking quite high with height. Washing and heating, 719. Alright, the big Bosch is heating fine. And we've got this. Bosch Classics 1000 Express. WFL 2066. Right. Picked it up. Apparently not working. But then they've also handed me a fridge and a freezer that have apparently been sat in the garage. So I'm not actually entirely sure. Spin the drum and the motor sounds fine. The bearings sound fine. And the spider sounds fine. Although that door seal is horrific. In fact, that has been sat in the bottom rotting away. Anyway, when I picked it up, it was set to spin. That was it. So, let's do exactly that. We'll put it on to spin. Hit start. Drain pump's working. Oh, and the top is completely smashed for some reason. Oh, working. It may be that it actually is working. It may be that the reason why it was just given to a scrap, it was actually set up for scrap or for spares, was the fact that actually she just didn't know if it worked or not. And obviously it is quite old at the end of the day. So is the fridge, the Beko fridge I was given, and the Elec freezer I was also given. If you ask me, that's okay. Mind you, we're set to spin, so I'm going to drain the filter first before we start again, put some towels in, bit of Daz, and see how it washes under suspension. Not very well. Also, it might actually start picking up whether the motor might be on its final brushes, possibly. But I don't think it will be. It will be. I think it'll be fine. fact, here's the actual difference between this WFL 2066 and the 2063 is nothing. Nothing. There's absolutely no difference. What was that? And when I say absolutely nothing, what you've got is a Classics Express and a Classics Normal with an Express option. It's the way they're reverted, basically. So, this WFL 266 has Rinse Plus, Wash Plus, a variable spin, and rinse hold on the variable spin. The other way around, the WFL 2063 has Rinse Plus, Express Wash, but it only has Express Wash because it doesn't have Wash Plus. If you set the cycle normally on there, you get Wash Plus automatically. On this, you get Express automatically. It's just reverted. And then the other two options are 1000 reduced to 600, which is what this does. And then it's also got Rinse Hold option, which is also what this does. In fact, if anything, that's better because you can either have 1000 RPM plus Rinse Hold, or 600 RPM plus rinse hold. But with this, you've only got 1000 RPM plus rinse hold. Right, put some washing in, and we'll get this on. Ugh. I suspect it's been sat in the garage along with the fridge and the freezer whilst the house has been up for sale. They bought it and moved in, got this, and decided just to throw them out. Which, to be honest, is not a bad move considering the type of house they were in. It's quite a big house in a stately kind of area. Oh god, that smells. Ugh. Right, we'll sub some washing in on the 90 wash. We'll get going. Well, it's filling up fine. I'm washing fine. I'll put it on to 90 wash with a Wash Plus and Rinse Plus. Ugh. Right. Update. This clearly is working. It stinks to high heavens. About 40-ish roughly now. The Big Bosch is kind of already on 90, but 90 like immediately. So actually what actually happened was I've been working on this and I accidentally, don't know how I've done it, hit the buttons and the whatever. So it now just says temperature too high, door can't be opened. Anyway, this is the Haier made Hoover H-Wash I've been working on. Now it turns out that this was just basically pushed back from the back panel, but it looks like the back panel, it was either not fitted properly from factory, or this is just there. Look, that is actually broken. It's only that one though, it's only that pin, the rest are all fine. So, we'll glue it back together, and we'll slot this back in. Hopefully that should just be the reason. Hopefully. That's not a good sign, is it? All the buttons do work on this. It looks like it's got extra space for additional LEDs, I think. Here and there. If you look underneath, it only uses these two side ones here, but it has all them put in as well that it doesn't use. Right, a couple of things with the Bosch. It's leaking. Only a little bit, and it's from the front somewhere. And it only seems to have started doing it when it reached the cool down stage. Right. And it's only a little leak as well. Not too sure. I think the suspension's okay. Big Bosch is now on its final rinse. Alright. Yeah. That is amazing how I've put 4 towels in and they come out more mucky than when they went in. Ew. It's only a small leak on that Bosch, but you know, still needs fixing, of course. Other than that, it does seem to be fully working. It's fully working. That still needs fixing. Oh. Right, so as it turns out, this may be thrown out as faulty because of the small leak. The small leak, there's actually a hole in the door seal. So actually, the thing I was going to change is the thing I have to change to fix it. Other than that, I was quite surprised it didn't fall out on the heater or anything like that and trip things out. Then again, the water level on this is really, really poor. You see that brush dryer over there? It fully works. Put it on sensor dry and it dries perfectly fine. In a perfectly reasonable amount of time as well for the size of the load. So, why it's been thrown out, who knows? Right, let's see if this works. And it's a complete guess whether it works or not. Just a bit of a story, background story with this dishwasher. I sold a Hotpoint WML 520 right at the very start in my early days of fixing them up. And it's still going today actually, believe it or not. After putting a new belt on, cleaning the seal, etc. Anyway, took it to a flat that was being done up. And got back a Samsung WF0602, the Mica drum one, which had completely disintegrated its spider. But he also gave me this Whirlpool dishwasher, having said it had barely been used since he bought it. And bearing in mind, back then, it was still 13, 14-year-old at this point, and it had never been used. Fast forward another 6 years, I think, and it's still never been used. I'm going to keep that. Right, it's some old packaging. So anyway, you got that in it. You've got the manual, quick reference guide for it, which is pretty handy to have. I can't put it full, but there we go. We've got a bag of Fairy Platinum dishwasher tablets. So it was used up to a point by the looks of things. Well, it says a bag of platinum, but hang on, something's not right. Ah, platinum in it. They're just what looks to be cheap dishwasher tablets, to be honest. Maybe they're just shoved into a bag. We'll use one of them tablets in a minute, hang on. So let's see. Let's put these in. Let's see. That's Richard, so we'll use that one. That looks like, I can't remember, I don't know if that's glass or salt. Give me a second. Right, so they're on. actually do any washing on this cycle. I don't know if rapid's on or off. That's the trouble. Yep. It is heating alright. I'm fine as well. Right, let's test this here out now. If this is a new heater, it was completely blown twice. So we'll do a hygiene cycle. What is that? Underwear exactly? I'll test that out on the day. Anyway, so. Right, put a bit of powder in and we'll see if it works. Don't worry if you can't see anything. I've got another hair Hoover machine, so we'll just change the door over for it. Use that instead. Well, 51. Right, so we're what, 18 minutes into the cycle. 90 seems to be hit because it's got an 1800 watt heater quite quickly. That's warm. To get that warm, it must be about 70 at least on the inside. Yep, that's how quiet it is. It does need descaling because it's still throwing off some of the crud. Other than that. Anyway, let's see if this works then. The camera definitely doesn't. Anyway, it supposedly does work. been sat in the rain for a while, so but I've let it dry out for the last 2 days. Didn't realise that though. That Hotpoint logo is just printed on. It's not raised like it used to be. Dial is missing a lot of its numbers, but it's just a time dryer anyway. Okay. The condenser's a bit fluffy. Oh, no, is it? You okay? Oh, it is heated as well. There's no noises. I can't hear anything. There's no squeaks or anything. So it's a good clean up and you can go to a new owner. Should be alright to be honest. I'm not going to do too much because it has got obviously the rust there. It's a magnetic one or a clip one? Oh, it might be a clip. Missing the magnet out of one side of the. These have 2 magnets in. It's missing 1 magnet. It is indeed actually working. Oh, that was a low heat as well. Whoops, didn't realise that. Oh yeah, it's definitely got a hot one. But I'm not even going to bother testing this one because it's already obvious what's wrong with it. Somebody had to try to fix it and that's the problem. That's not actually the problem, but switch round. All the screws are missing from basically everywhere but the top. All the screws from the heater are missing. The screw for the bearing, teardrop bearing, is missing, and that's actually the problem in the first place. I'm guessing that it stopped going round, and that's why they try to fix it. Badly. Anyway, I don't know yet. But that's just gonna go. I'm gonna put that into my heap of nothingness first. And we'll come back to it at another time. Maybe I'll fix it.